warm-up. I ask that you silence your cell phones to prevent any distractions to the athletes. This week, the field of play is in front of the rope area, and that belongs to our athletes and authorized personnel only. Please do not go into the boulders area for any reason. As a reminder, BowlTV.com is the exclusive live streaming home of the PWBA Tour, and we ask that you do not live stream from your personal devices. All right, athletes, please press the start bowling key on your consoles. All right, athletes, your arrows are up. You almost all have a full set of pins. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a great send-off for round one of the PWBA Sonoma County Open. Good luck, ladies.
Hello, good people of Earth. Hope all is well in your direction. Good to be back with you here on Bowl TV as the second swing of the year, the West Coast swing, now officially underway on the PWBA Tour. Emil Williams Jr. live from Double Decker Lanes in Rohnert Park, California. (2019) PWBA Sonoma County Open. We are behind lanes 29, 30, 31, and 32. Shayna Ung, Kayla Bandy, and Angelimar Beasley bowling this week. The solid southpaw Camilla Dahmers-Nadal in the building this week, along with Sherry Tan, Jasmine Gigi Mason. Excellent shot there you see from Nadal. Camilla Dahmers also went to Weber International. Those of you who may or may not be familiar with her, she bowled with Verity and Daria. I don't recall if her time overlapped with Diana Zanyalovas. Good morning to all who are in the chat. Appreciate you tuning in. Macy Parkin had 290 look going into the second shot of the 10th frame. So we'll keep you updated on scores and such as best as we can. All right, in front of us here, Dahmers-Nadal with 4 in a row. Sherry Tan can get in the 250s. Jasmine Mason, after a couple struggles early in this game, she can get to 201. Of course, all of your information needs, pwba.com/live. And Camilla will talk it over. Didn't like what she had going there. Nothing wrong with that. So I'd like to say no anyway shots. Something doesn't feel right. Better to stop instead of throwing it anyway. You probably won't be as successful if you had stopped to begin with. A couple early scores, 276 for Missy Parkin. Shannon Plahowski shot 257. This week's lane condition is 42 feet. 24.435. We'll get very specific with that unit. 24.435 milliliters of oil. With that Kegel terrain being used along with Kegel current. It's a little different than maybe some of the conditioners that you may be used to hearing about or seeing from Kegel. For example, fire and ice. Always a deadly combination. So far, though, talking to a couple of people earlier, that at least for today, I should say this block in particular, because, you know, it's a little different as we go along. Nice make there off camera from Danielle McEwen. I believe that was the 6-7. But in regards to the condition, hold was going to be one of the keys here this morning. The track, as I was told, hooking a little bit more than they did during the practice session yesterday. So hold can remain. Score should be pretty high, and perhaps the highest we've seen since in our 4 years here in this building. This is the 4th consecutive year. And if you follow the PWBA tour, you know that generally the lower scoring events come from this tournament. The house characteristics make it play very tough. Game 1 is nearly complete. Just a quick reset on the 7-pin for Angelimar Beasley. But continuing on with the lane pattern. Hold would be significant again this morning. If some carry down can continue on. If the hold goes away, then, well, the scoring pace might indeed become more familiar than what we're used to here at double-decker lanes. For those asking, no live scoring this week, unfortunately, but we will work to help you out in that regard as much as we can. We won't go score running for you every time, but if someone's nearby, so just some minor detailing. Here on Bowl TV as players helping themselves to take care of some corrections. Now we're officially on to game 2 on our featured pairs. Again, 17 through 20, 21 through 24, 25 through 28, 33 through 36, and of course 29 through 32. Those will be your channels. I want to thank Jim Decker, proprietor here at Double Decker Lanes. All of his hard work, along with and Gary, the mechanic, Dennis, the general manager, getting everything set, prepped, and ready. And everyone else here, Craig, Chris, all of the above. My man Chris doing his thing, going on a cool trip soon. Chris is a very inspiring individual, and everyone should have an opportunity to meet him. So if you're ever in double-decker lanes, you stop by Roanoke Park here in the area, in Sonoma County, come on by, ask for Chris, and just let him chat with you. And you will walk away feeling just a different way. He's a good dude, as is everyone else here. And happy to have him at least for a couple days. Then he's going to go leave us to follow his beloved San Francisco Giants to, let's see, they're going to Baltimore, and then they're going to Citi Field in New York. So he's going to take a trip out on Sunday with his father. So just one of the cool things about certain venues, you learn about the people that you work with, whether it's for 3 days or 3 months. And in our case, it's generally 3 to 5 days where we spend our time at a particular venue. In Sonoma County's case, we've been here now 4 consecutive years. As you make your way on through, appreciate the good morning. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Let's see, Stacy, Jennifer, Mark, Brian, Tabitha, Martha, Tim, Barbara, Troy, Michael, Montella, Aaron. By the way, if you're curious and want to check out some of the best senior competitors in the land. Be sure to check out the Super Senior Classic. Aaron Smith, Daniel Farish, and Matt Cannizzaro out trading places and doing their thing at Samstown. And we have that for you here as well. See the SSC featured. And then you'll also see one additional channel for the Super Senior Classic if you are curious. So want to check that out as well. Stacy, Rob, Nate, my man Chris Pulliam, that is. The other Chris is here at Double Decker Lanes. Let's see, Thomas, Sarah's checking in, Mark, my man Mark Pruitt. And if I missed you, shout out to Omar checking in, Pamela, Tony, Aaron, and Olivia at the moment. All right, folks, back in 1 second here on Bowl TV. Well, this could be the week for Shannon Pluhowski. 257 game one already with the front four here in game number 2. And already several more strikes than what we are accustomed to here at Double Decker Lane. So a bit of the opposite of the spectrum for our players this week. Sorry about that, folks. Probably wondering why there's a scoreboard getting larger in your screen. It's one of those adjustments that you try to make quick, and then the mouse doesn't really cooperate the way it should. You can see on the bottom ticker. Standings after game 1. Shannon Pluhowski with the front 5. I agree, Mark. I got to do something. Giselle Paul's out with the front 5 as well. Our proximity here at Double Decker Lanes, I mean, we're literally a step away from the settee area. You can probably tell that a little bit based on the camera angles and what you see. One thing I do enjoy about double decker, it's actually very rare for bowling centers. See them a little bit more, I guess, in today's landscape. But the concourse tables actually have power outlets on either side of the table, which, of course, for what we do, I mean, it's literally like gold. Couldn't ask for a better setup. But we always appreciate extra items that bowling centers might have that help us, and they don't even know they're helping us, but they are. So if you got a bowling center out there and you're thinking about adding some live streaming to it, maybe power outlets at least a few tables or near a table would be excellent. One tip from someone who's live streamed one event in his life. Giselle Poss with the front 6. She is on 27 and 28. Want to shout out Brand Houghton this week. Brand is actually on site with us, along with Curtis Von Kruger. Terry Bigham is on site with us as well. Just goes to show how much, how important Aaron Smith is, huh? How about that? We got to send 2 people out to replace Aaron. I mentioned AA Ron is out in Vegas. He will miss this event as well as Tucson next week. And then he will rejoin the crew in Fountain Valley. Danica Hegan. Danica was chatting with Terry a little bit last night and just mentioning some of the opportunities in things that she has been a part of now. Talks about certainly enjoying bowling and the competition. She has certainly improved and has put in the work. Got a few staff agreements out there for herself, and then a lot of coaching opportunities. She coaches some high school players back in Washington. Poss with the front 7. She is on again 27 and 28. She'll be up on 28 here momentarily. Jody Wessner with 7 out of 8 on 33 and 34. Of course, last year, Shannon O'Keefe took home the title. She has won 2 of 3 events here at Sonoma County, specifically here at Double Decker Lanes. Won in 2016 and 2018. Poss looking for 8 in a row. And leaves a 4-7-10. There's Karen Rosbrook, former Fresno State first-team All-American. She finished 6th here in 2017. And just missed making the television show that year. Karen local, not necessarily minutes away from the bowling center local, but local to the Bay. Karen out of Albany, California. East Bay love. And if I recall correctly, still works at, I think Giselle just made that. She did. Poss just made the 4-7-10. If you leave it, you got to spare it, right? Karen at Cloverleaf Bowl. Kim Power, who's also here. Kim Power Defer. She is bowling this week. Also reps Cloverleaf as well. Here's Heekin, stepping up on the left side of your screen. And spare from Danica Wessner, by the way, 8 out of 9. So she's looking at 279 max. She'll be stepping up in the 10th frame pretty soon. Excellent shot there for Shannon Puhowski. And just like that, Shannon can begin the day 250, 260 potentially with another one here. Oh, Sal, my man checking in from Las Vegas. Well, Sal, you got some options, I should say, in Vegas. Obviously, it looks like you're bowling the Open Championships. I wish you good luck. And then if you have some time and want to check out some other bowling, go visit the Super Senior Classic. Next week, the Senior Masters will be at Sam's Town. Another good shot there from Puhowski, but go visit Aaron. My man Daniel Farish. DQ has done his thing there. Doing some great work at the OC with the legend, the OC legend, Matt Cannizzaro. But we appreciate you tuning in as always, Sal. Nice shot there from Jasmine. 3 on the pair this week. So the higher scoring pace coupled with the actual bowling pace. Well, we could be on a vacation by the time this thing's over. 255 for Pluhowski. So make that 257, 255 for the lefty. And a 10-pin for Wessner. I mentioned she had 8 out of 9. So she will be in the 250s with a spare. Prosperum. Karen has always had a solid and simple game. And in bowling, most of the time, but not always. Simple generally results into something good. .196 for Summer Jasmine. Giselle Poss back at it in the 9th, first shot in the 10th, a good one. And she will be in the 260s as well. See Missy and how she's trying to attack the lanes a little bit from that left lane. And you see Wessner to your right finishing out 258. All right, another quality shot there from Heekin, and Danica can get into the 200s. Pins do bounce just a touch here at double decker. Never know what type of conversions we might see. Giselle Poss, 262. 262 for Giselle. Again, after that one game, first game, Missy Parkin shot 276. As we watch Julia Bond. Nice shot there for Bond. And that was the first one in the 10th. Julia, a tour rookie, and has been traveling and rooming with Gigi, Jasmine Mason, Stephanie Schwartz. I think this week Jordan Richard rooming with them as well. That's a lot of All-American selections and accomplishments at the collegiate level, and for some certainly already at this level as well, but just thinking of their collegiate careers in one room. Again, Julia Bond, national champion, first team All-American multi-times, academic All-Americans too, those individuals as well. Just think about some of the accomplishments. Gigi Mason, national champion at Nebraska, also an All-American. Jordan Richard, of course, two-time Player of the Year. I believe Julia Bond won Player of the Year as well. Stephanie Schwartz also won Player of the Year. But listening to them, and specifically Julia, she was kind of highlighting some things and talking about the tour life for her. It's obviously new and different and something she had been looking forward to. So Julia's week, she's going to bowl here, obviously. She'll bowl the regional, but she won one in Lincoln, of course, which was very special for her. 190 for Julia, all three in the 10th. Then Bond's going to travel with Jasmine Mason, with Gigi, to Las Vegas. They're going to bowl the Open Championships, I believe, on Monday and Tuesday. And then hit the flight on Wednesday to Tucson for the next stop, the Tucson Open at Golden Pin Lanes. And then after that, obviously make the trip out to the U.S. Women's Open. And I told her last night, I said, well, that is the definition of tour life. And she was excited about it. So the young rookies out making their way here on the PWBA Tour, figuring it out, the travel situation, which is probably really underrated. Figuring out your travel schedule, how you're going to get to various places. Are you driving? Are you going to ride with someone? Who's rooming with you this week? You know, a lot of the players obviously book well in advance. Sometimes you got to make the necessary adjustments to your schedule that you didn't plan on. That happens a lot, of course. Parkin shoots 223. Danica Heekin 179. And game 2 is in the books. All right, when we come back, we'll go over some scores. We'll talk about the USBC Queens a little bit. Give it the old good recap. And, well, we'll talk about other cool stuff that's happening in the bowling world. I'm going to go make some changes across our channels, and I will return momentarily. You are watching the 2019 PWBA Sonoma County Open here on Bowl TV. Bowling lives here. All right, welcome back. Bowl TV, Game 3. Your new leader, Shannon Pluhowski. Of course, that is after 2 games. Pluhowski at plus 112. For those wondering in the chat, as I mentioned before, but we do have simultaneous events going on Bowl TV. And we actually haven't had that for a little bit, so. But we have the Super Senior Classic that is ongoing. It's a USBC event for senior players 60 and over. And then next week we will be streaming the Senior Masters on Bowl TV as well. And so you can watch both of those events like you normally would with a PWBA event. So we've got PWBA and we've got the Super Senior Classic. Somehow Aaron Smith and I still are on Bowl TV at the same time, although we're not in the same venue. New players on our featured pairs, Diana Zavialova, Debbie Ayers, and Kimmy Rampone. namely Kimmy Davidson. Maria Jose Rodriguez, Kimberly Power Defer, and Giselle Poss on 31 and 32. Defer 2-4-8-10. And Davison takes care of the 7-pin. 32nd right now is -10. Again, Puhalski, after back-to-back games of 250 plus to begin the day, is your new leader after 2 games. Giselle Poss heard a little bit of the double dribble, and she comes back, and you saw the emotion right there, the reaction of that was a type of shot. But she'll take the 10-pin, single pin opportunity, 9 spare to remain clean here in the 8th frame. Of course, in this area of the country, dribbling is something that the good folks here are used to. Good shot at it there from Kim. As the Golden State Warriors took an L last night in game number 1 of the NBA Finals. Every time I come back to this area, I am reminded of the short time that I did live in the Bay Area, for about a year and a half. Hello, Mr. Pay checking in. Well, if Lauren is nearby, we'll give you an update. But one thing I will never forget is being around when the Warriors won their first championship. I was here for that, and you talking about parades, and you know, I'm from Chicago. I got an idea of how a championship should be celebrated, especially in basketball. And I'll tell you, as the kids would say, it was lit. It was crazy around the area, but all for the proper measure. And of course, since that time, the Warriors have proven and continue to produce championships, and they're looking for yet another. But Kawhi Leonard may have something else to say about that. Very interesting series, and I look forward to watching it unfold, as do the locals certainly here. A lot of Raptor shout-outs in the chat. Oh, I like it. I thoroughly enjoy when I get to merge both of my kind of favorite sports together. Another 2-4-8-10 on that lane. One from Kimberly Power, now one from Giselle Poss. Well, a lot of love in the chat for the Raptors. Certainly understandably so from the Team Canada perspective. I'd have to imagine that most folks are probably okay or wouldn't mind seeing Golden State lose at this point. Shannon Pluhowski, by the way, has got a chance to get to 769 for the first 3 games. And right now, making it look pretty rudimentary. That's always enjoyable when, essentially there's not much to think about. Which, again, if you may be new to some of the PWBA coverage, this bowling center, if you go back and look, and we've got the season recaps and the stats to talk about as well as the 9-pin. Won't go for Giselle. And while we have a moment, let's just go through it. We talked about the notoriously lower scoring pace here at Double Decker, coupled with tough lane conditions. Back a couple years ago, arguably the toughest lane condition that we've seen on tour was laid down 40 feet flat, and boy, that was a grind without question. The last year's cut number to get to the top 32, 32nd last year was minus 65. That was in 2018 at this event. And it opened in the 10th for Poss. So again, minus 65. Then in 2017, Sonoma County was our first event of the season. The cut number was minus 172. Good morning, Brandon. Appreciate you checking in. So if you guys are with me, minus 65 and minus 172. And then finally in 2016, our first event, or first time we've held an event here in Sonoma. The pace was a little higher scoring, but nonetheless 32nd was minus 54. Right now 32nd minus 10, and I think it's going to be plus the way things are going. Shannon Pluhowski has shot 257 for the second time in 3 games. 257, 255, and now again 257. The Southpaw trying to exert some dominance here early. Here in round 1 of qualifying on Bowl TV Central. Or Bowl TV, I beg your pardon. Zavyalova 213. Debbie Ayers now into the 10th frame to her left. Tanya Raumimper had a very nice event, obviously, last week at the USBC Queens. Won by Dasha Kovalova. Congrats again to Dasha. Just a minor tease. Dash was Dash was part of our in some way, shape, or fashion, the Bowl TV Central podcast. the Bowl TV Central. Of course, you can check that out. The Backstage channel on bowltv.com. We bring you something every week from the PWBA Tour. Again, this week, we were joined by, again, USBC Queens champion of 2019, Dasha Kovalova. And a very different environment. And I do not want to give more than that away. So when that is up and ready to go, we will let you know. But Dasha, as you learned last week, and hopefully you did in the one game that you saw her, just literally an amazing, amazing personality. And hopefully we captured that, and that'll be on display for you to have a little fun with us. And we thank Dasha for participating on yesterday. But what a show that was as we move into game number 4. The matches were really exceptional. Daphne Tan made her TV debut, at least in the United States, making a major television show in Wichita. Tan, of course, from Singapore. This is the final event for Team Singapore, and they will be heading back home to get prepared for all of their upcoming competitions, and including the Asian Championships, SEA Games. Of course, the women's World Bowling Women's Championships will be taking place in August as well. So a lot upcoming for Singapore. Lindsay Boomershine, along with Deandra Asbeatty. Here on 31 and 32. And now on 29 and 30, the defending champion for the first time. We get to see Shannon O'Keefe, Jen Higgins, and Lilia Robles on 29 and 30. Last week we saw the return to TV for Clara Guerrero. And for Clara, it was a very interesting, or let's just say not interesting, it was a very nice and more than acceptable return to TV. Especially the Queens, considering she very well could have made the show last year at the Queens, but the back spasms and the back injury crept up on the final day of match play. She went through some dynamite match with Tanya Raubimper. Sin Lee Jane. Lee Jane and Team Malaysia, they went back home after the Queens. Sets out for 2 events. They too kind of similar schedules with Team Singapore and what they have upcoming. But Jane was excellent. I honestly thought she was going to shoot 300 in the semifinal match. Really was an excellent show. I'll ask you in the chat, maybe if you had a favorite part or what you really enjoyed most about last week's USBC Queens show. It was on CBS Sports Network. If you got a chance to take a look at it. That show overall was just excellent, and even some of the additional segments that we had as part of the show You know, that week also featured the Hall of Fame, PWBA Hall of Fame ceremony. And Curtis Von Kruger put together a very nice piece, essentially recapping. That was voiced by Dave Ryan. But in a couple minute span, you got a chance to really take in the importance of that ceremony and what it meant to the PWBA, but really what it meant to the sport as a whole. So appreciate Curtis and his hard work and efforts there. And if someone says that their favorite part was seeing me on television, that may get you a free gift. I'm just playing. I agree, Brandon. It was it really was from top to bottom. And a lot of times we look at the show and just look at the bowling. But some of the things that we also add to the show, the produced segments, I mentioned the Hall of Fame. Good folks have given me an opportunity to contribute to the telecast as well. It was a solid thing from top to bottom. And obviously the bowling puts it over the top. So we look forward to more of that at the U.S. Women's Open. That'll be our next major. The next time it will be on CBS Sports Network. And then, after the U.S. Women's Open, we'll have a little bit of a break, just like we did last year. We'll have a few weeks off in July. Many of us will be heading to Junior Gold. Actually, some of the players, or many of the players, will be there as well. Even before Junior Gold and around the U.S. Women's Open, Bowl Expo is happening. That'll be like right at the follow of the U.S. Women's Open. And then we'll get back into competition in August with our elite events. And those 3 events will also be televised on Saturdays on CBS Sports Network. We are into game number 4. We'll have our 3-game update momentarily. Michelle will be there at Junior Gold. It is in Detroit. Last year's Junior Gold was really, really great on many accounts, but just being back the last few years, seeing the return of the opening ceremony. Last year's was fantastic. It really was. Really was. The trade show and just watching young athletes interact with their favorite professionals, that really is something that kind of gives you the feels, if you will, the chills. It's just pure innocence. You just watch young fans, and I see it all the time here on tour. You watch a Bowl with the Pros event, or even post block, and seeing the young fans interact with their favorite professionals. It really is a cool sight to see. All right, after 3 games, Shannon Pluhowski at plus 169. Missy Parkin is second. Pluhowski, your leader. Again, Missy second at plus 113. Jody Wessner is third at plus 98. Beautigate Poplar is fourth at plus 89. Sydney Brummett fifth at plus 82. Camilla Dahmers Nadal of Aruba is sixth at plus 80. Karen Rosbrum is seventh at plus 72. Valerie Bercier eighth at plus 64. Daphne Tan is ninth at plus 57. Giselle Poss is 10th at plus 55. Deandra Asbeatty and Kayla Bandy are tied for 11th at plus 53. Sandra Gungor is 13th at plus 51. Amanda Falk, who will be bowling, I want to say maybe the entire West Coast swing. Amanda, now a member of the PWBA Tour from Tucson, is 14th at plus 47. Diana Zavialova 15th at plus 46. Laura Plazas is 16th at plus 44. We'll skip all the way down to 32nd, where that number right now is -2. And it is Angelimar Beasley. Shine working on a double. She can get to the 260s. Diana Zavialova on 37 and 38. She's got the front 5. Daphne Tan looking for 4 in a row here, 8th frame. Really good event, obviously, for Daphne Tan, as she finished 5th at the Queen last week. But I talked about some of the other members of Team Singapore having success on the PWBA Tour, and really it was her opportunity and her time to be the focal point. And she certainly had all of the support of her teammates and coaches. And I don't doubt for a minute that she will be back at some point in the stepladder, whether it's TV, CBS Sports Network, or Bowl TV stepladder. Boomer shine. Bang. 4 in a row for Lindsay. Here comes the boom. Oh. And Robles sending pins. Now it's getting serious, folks. Make that 5 for Daphne Tan. I want to thank all of our sponsors on the PWBA Tour. It's Jen Higgins. It's 3 in a row. BowlerX.com, GoBowling.com, Nationwide, Pepsi, and Cubica AMF, as well as the PWBA Gold Partners, 900 Global, Brunswick, Columbia 300, DV8, Hammer, Motive, Roto Grip, and Storm. O'Keefe finds a double after a couple of splits in frames 4 and 6 on the left lane. Shout out to all of our merchandise, apparel, accessories, and every company that has supported the PWBA Tour, and certainly our fans, because without you, your viewership of Bowl TV, your support in person, and your viewership, of course, on our national stage, things like this would not be possible. I wouldn't have anybody to talk to if there were no fans. Ten backing him is Lindsey Boomershine. Got to talk to Lindsay about her strike zone, because I know she's going to make TV at some point this year. I've got a feeling about that. And I don't quite remember what she generally chooses. Maybe I can convince her to change it to Here Comes the Boom, if it's not already that, but I don't think it is. .269 for Lindsay B. That's a big game for Boomershine. She was at -55 heading into that game. And that brings her to the plus mark at +14. She'll have some work to do, but we've got plenty of games. This is game 4 of 8 here in the morning. We'll come back this afternoon, or this evening, I should say, at 5 p.m. local. But for our next couple of events, it's going to be some late nights for many of you. I'm going to thank you in advance, like Drake. Because I know it's going to be late nights, and you get to have somewhat of a normal morning, if you will, when you watch. But it's Friday. I know most of you, many of you are watching from home, or excuse me, from work. Some might be at home. It's already 1:40 on the East Coast. .232 for Daphne Tan, and now a 3.610 to take care of here, Deandra Asbeatty, and she will handle business there. Robles set to step up in the 10th. She can get to 206. Here is O'Keefe. Shannon got a nice surprise this week from her dad, Don. So for all of you loyal Bowl TV viewers, if you don't see Don in the chat and you haven't seen him yet, it's because he's here. He's in the building. Appreciate Don and his viewership. Big double again for O'Keefe. Shannon's first win in 2016 at this event. The format was slightly different. Qualifying and match play was held in the venue, and then we went to the major, the site of the next major, to film the television show or tape it. But the win was the first from the singles perspective for O'Keefe. That event was sponsored by Nationwide. Of course, big thanks to Nationwide for their sponsorship of the tour. But after a lot of close calls and some struggles in title matches, and at the time, the most recent one was the 2015 U.S. Women's Open. She had opened in the 10th frame to allow Liz Johnson to do what Liz Johnson does in the 10th to win. And that was a marquee moment for O'Keefe at the time. Ball changed on the fill. She shoots 193. And that title kind of set up what we now have come to know from Shannon, who is an extremely fierce and tough competitor and was the best player on tour in 2018. And is the best player on tour really until someone says she's not. But look at what she's done since winning that title. She won a couple again in 16, another in 17. She actually won 3 titles at 16. She won the Lincoln Open, sponsored by Pepsi that year. Then she won the Striking Against Breast Cancer mixed doubles event again. And she had already won that previously for her first PWBA title with Bill O'Neill. Then in 2017, she won the St. Petersburg Clearwater Open. And in 18, of course, she won the, in 17, St. Pete, as well as the Tour Championship. Then last year, won again here in Sonoma County, won to the Twin Cities, and wow, how about that 7-9 goal late? Moved, I think, each week, both on the lanes and obviously physically. Had a really tough infection that she went through a few months back and then pulled a muscle in the first event. And so she is working her way into form at 238. It's getting closer and closer for Jen Higgins. Game 4 is complete. We are off to game number 5. When we return, we'll throw some trivia out there for you as well, and we got some good trivia, I should say. Created by the one and only Grant Houghton. Back with you here momentarily here on Bowl TV. All right, welcome back to Bowl TV. Game number 5 of 8. Qualifying round 1. We're moving right along. Appreciate everyone tuning in. We welcome to the featured pairs Jacqueline Evans, another tour rookie, former junior gold champion. Made the stepladder finals at the Lincoln Regional, eventually won by Julia Bond. There will be a regional event here this week on Sunday. So if you are under the sound of my voice and you know someone perhaps in the Bay Area who would mind taking a trip out to double-decker lanes at Rohnert Park for 8 games, if you're in the top 4, you advance to the stepladder finals. Tell them to sign on up. Be sure to visit pwba.com/regionals. We'll get your latest score update here in just a second. Stephanie Martins of Brazil. I believe Stephen was selected to represent Brazil in the Pan American Games. Shannon O'Keefe, Stephanie Johnson will represent the United States on the women's side. Jacob Buttroff and Nicholas Pate will represent Team USA on the men's side at that event. Nicely done for Stephanie. Brianna Coche, Felicia Wong out bowling this week. Felicia and her sister Samantha are bowling here in the Sonoma County Open. And then I believe their mother will join them tomorrow, or excuse me, Sunday. And all three, mother and two daughters, will bowl the regional together. Verity Crawley, Jurgen Poplar against Jackie Evans on 29 and 30. Verity, of course, finished second in this event last season, losing to O'Keefe in the title match, 268-266. Mentioned the lower scoring pace, and for what the scores have produced, 260 anything just didn't look possible. But yet, when you get two talented players like that who have a command on things, Shannon had bowled 2 matches already. She had climbed the ladder to get to the title match. Verity, of course, watching from afar. Had a game plan, it worked out. Crawley is certainly a player who literally is just frames away from winning, and several times at this point. She's got 4 runner-up finishes in just a couple of years here on tour. To our right, Dasha Kovalova, struggling early, but now with a 7-bagger looking for 8 in a row, and has it. Now Dash can get to 290. That she's over on 33 and 34. If you are curious, yeah, I'm with Felicia Wong on that one. That looked to be a spare, and it did not clip the 2 at all. So open frame there for Felicia in the 8th. All right, trivia. Including this week's event, how many times has the PWBA visited Sonoma County? That's a pretty easy one for you. That one's, I mean, that's a hanging curveball right there. I'm anticipating this one to just be not completely out of the ballpark. It's like a low 80s fastball right here. Actually, go high 80s. Low 80s fastballs can still fool you every now and then. Lauren Pate is over on 25 through 28 on that respective channel. She's with Kelly Kulick, who many I mentioned or asked about earlier. Nice shot there from Crawley and Ashley Galante. Martins has set herself up here in the ninth. Jackie Evans trying to find something here. That one goes left. But a makeable spare for Evans. It is almost June. 2019 is going by pretty quickly. Kovalova, 288. Quick update on scores. Puhalski still at plus 169. She shot 200 in game number 4. As we watch Cote, that's got a peel. It does. Nicely done there for Cote. Continuing on with our scores here. Missy Parkin at plus 116 in second. Tashina Saraus from Aruba. Two of the best from Aruba competing this week. Both Tashina and Camilla Dahmers Nadal. Again, Saraus at plus 110, the former Maryland Eastern Shore Hawk. Crawley makes it a three-bagger in the ninth frame. Kayla Bandy in fourth at plus 109, the current Maryland Eastern Shore head coach and previous coach, of course, of Tashina Saraus. Julia Bond is fifth at plus 105. Jody Wessner tied for sixth with Buttigieg Poplar at plus 104. Sydney Brummett she is eighth at plus 98. Daphne Tan ninth at plus 89. Tied for 10th with Sandra Gongora and Diana Zavyalova at plus 84. Right now, the number to make the round of 32 is even. That belongs to both Gigi Mason and Verity Crawley. Couple players right now lurking around -1, -6. Jordan Richard right now -10. Jellamar Beasley is -11. Amanda Fry -15. Poplar is going to have one open, 2 strikes, no doubles, and try to get to 180. Martine, that's a big shot for her. Now puts her in the 190s. 236 from Cote, Wong 189. And now Crawley, who is even at the moment, but won't be even anymore. 3-6-10 for Verity. I believe Verity, along with head coach Katie Thornton, were voted either coaches of the year at SCAD, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty great accomplishment for both of those individuals. The type of impact that they are making on young athletes. Like Crawley takes care of business on the spare. She'll be in the 240s. Martins. Crossed over, got to 205. And moving right along as we move on to game number 6. By the way, your trivia results will be coming forward during the next game. Don't forget, the Super Senior Classic is ongoing. It is on Bowl TV as well. 3 channels of Super Senior Classic live coverage for you, including the SSC featured channel, which you'll see in your channel navigation, whether you're on your desktop. If you are on the desktop, you'll need to hit the arrow to the right so you can scroll right and see the additional channels of both PWBA and Super Senior Classic. So there is a lot going on Bowl TV today. We got a lot of live coverage for you. We certainly hope you are enjoying it. Game number 6 is on the way momentarily as we await the finish of Jackie Evans. Trying to figure some things out here. A couple splits this game. Had an early double, looking for her second. All right, solid shot, leaves a 10 pin. Galante to her left. She 2 in the 10th. Already with 1 strike in the 10th frame. Galante, someone trying to get over the hump a little bit as well. Making a few round of 32s, but really trying to get to that round of 12 and certainly compete for a title, making a step ladder final. That's that next goal, if you will, that next mountain to climb for Galante. Certainly's got the talent. Every week she's out here working hard. When she goes back home, always talks about some of the things that she will be doing, or will be working on, looking forward to improving upon. One more strike from her, she'll be at 224. Made a ball change on the fill, and that is 224 for Ashley Galante. All right, game 6 is on the way. We'll have Nicole Hiroka from Daly City, California, non-member. Daria Payonk will join us for the first time today, as well as Stephanie Schwartz. We'll be back with you momentarily. You're watching the 2019 PWBA Sonoma County Open here on Bowl TV, where bowling lives here. Jazrael Tan, Stephanie Johnson, Laura Plazas. On 31 and 32. Stephanie Schwartz, Daria Payok, Cole Hiroka on 29 and 30. This is game 6 of 8. All right, after 5 games of competition here this morning, one thing's for certain, 32nd, that number to advance to the round of 32 continues to move up. Shannon Puhalski continues to lead. She's been your leader at this point for about 4 games. Missy Parkins shot 276 in game number 1 to open things up. Laura Plazas from Colombia. Quality shot there for Plazas. A nice run at the USBC Queens. Jazrael Tan won on the tour as a non-member back in 2015. In Lubbock. Daria's going double. Open in the third double. She left 7-10. My memory serves correct. Daria entering the left side of your screen. Payok literally took part of the bowling world by storm, I would say. After winning the title in 2017, won the Greater Detroit Open. Also defeated good friend Verity Crawley in the title match. That win helped her to Rookie of the Year, which wasn't decided until the Tour Championship. I just knew when she let that one go. All right, Daria with 4 in a row. Putting in some time on the lanes, on the practice lanes, as she always does. If you follow her, certainly on social media, and every player, really. Players aren't shy about kind of sharing some information and at least talking about and sharing what they're practicing on, what they're working on. Hope everyone is doing well with work. We always get to this point of the day on a Friday where work is troublesome, or it could be made easier because you're watching bowling here, especially on Bowl TV. Steph didn't like the last couple, but that one struck in the 5th. Mentioned earlier that Steph, part of the duo, Team USA women, who will represent the United States at the Pan American Games. That was a kind of a dual event trial period, if you will. So there was actually Pan American trials. Team USA women, those who were able to come out to the ITRC and participate in, I believe, a 4 or 5 day trial period. Several games each day. That was a percentage of the kind of total point scale, and then the rest of the event, or the rest of the trial period, will be made up of qualifying, match play, and where you finished in the bracket at the Queens. And Steph led the way there, and she was followed by Shannon O'Keefe. then you throw it good, and then, well, that carry is just not there for you. That was a very interesting situation right there for Stephanie Schwartz. The entire settee area now is kind of talking about that interesting 8-pin that kind of almost didn't fall but fell late. Maybe almost stood, but the 10-pin was also late to go. Almost a pocket 8-10, if you will. Very strange. All right, Payong after a missed single pin there in the 9th. Bowling is telling her that she's got to make one before leaving the pair. As she leaves the 10-pin. Wow, Jeff is watching bowling outside. That's a good idea. Finally hit the mid-80s. Mike is half working, half listening. I'm okay with that. A cool 65 degrees in Southern California right now, where Troy is. Although I'm sure a hot and humid 93 degrees in Orlando, where Jennifer is. 3-bagger there for Tan. And a spare made for Daria. Excellent shot there for Steph. For Stephanie Johnson, it's been a since her return, or the tour's return, I should say. She too has been on her game as well. She's missed a few events in recent memory due to births of her wonderful children. Won her first career major, I'm sure many of you recall, at the PWBA Players Championship sponsored by Cubica AMF. It was in her home center, home building at Plano Super Bowl in Plano, Texas. 4 in a row now for Tan. Another nice smile. She won her first title in 2015 in the relaunch year at the Wichita Open. And then in 2017, one in Orlando. Certainly a place where she's got lots of ties. 9-pin goes at Boardwalk. I'm sure Jen knows where that is. That one was significant because it was her first event back from actually giving birth to Kinsey, her daughter. And she qualified for the show and ended up winning it. .221 for Hiroka, 220 for Payong. Mentioned Nicole, one of a few non-members competing this week from Daly City, California, which is in the Bay Area, right next to San Fran. Back-to-back quality shots there, now 3 in a row for Steph J. The answer to the trivia question, including this week's event, how many times has the PWBA visited Sonoma County? 75% of you answered correctly. We've been here 4 consecutive years now. 2016, 2017, last year, 2018, and of course 2019. Tenth frame, 31 and 32. Jazz Real looking for 6 in a row and has it. I was in Chicago. What day is this? Friday? Tuesday. For a couple days. No, wait, no, I wasn't. That's not true. I was there on Friday night. Spent the day there Saturday home. Then went to Myrtle Beach. And it was not cool in Myrtle Beach, which was thoroughly enjoyable at that moment. Now, I'm not a heat person, but when you're at the beach, it's acceptable and certainly welcomed. Nice place. I'll certainly be back. Wife and I had a quick trip there. Back to Chicago. And it was 55 degrees when we landed. It was disappointing to say the least. As was that 710 there. Pocket 710 from Jazz Real Tan. But if you're in the Bay Area, you should kind of know what to expect. I'll give Brand a pass. That's his first time. But I woke to fog this morning, and I felt right back at home. San Fran is not my home, but it quickly became a favorite on my list. Oh, how about that? How about that? Bang. .710 made by Jazz Real Tan. And you heard it and saw it right here on Bowl TV. Told you the pins bounce here. I finally saw one. Dan shoots 247, Johnson 208, and Laura Plazas 192. And a nice highlight on the end of Game 6 from Jazz Real Tan. How about that? All right, folks, we'll take one small break, change some things, and we're headed to game number 7. But I'm looking for something right now that I should be sharing with you in between games. And at approximately 65 milliseconds, I'm not even sure if that's a real measurement of time. It's probably not. I just made it up. Okay, and there it is. And there it is. All right. Do not forget, while on Bowl TV, you better be checking out the lab and specifically the video room with my main man, head coach Rod Ross. He continues his series and his breakdown of Team USA players, and I'm sure we'll get into some additional folks as we move along. Of course, this series is called The Video Room. It's located in the lab. Don't forget the additional channels on Bowl TV, along with live events. You have access to the lab, get instruction, cool video series like what Rod is doing, Lou Marquez, that is, Steven Padilla, for example. You also get the Backstage channel, where you can check out cool podcasts like Bowl TV Central with myself, Aaron Smith, Out of Range with Tony Franklin, Derek Hartnell, and Matt McFadden, and some other great content that we have for you. We go behind the scenes and do special pieces. Earlier this week, we talked about Ashley Scott, and she is in the military. She's in the Navy, and so I paid a little homage to her on Memorial Day on this past Monday. So you can check out pieces like that, certainly, as well as the Vault, where you can watch classic PWBA events, Team USA events, collegiate events, and World Team Challenge events. That is all available on the Backstage channel, and it's all right here on Bowl TV. All right, back with you in a moment.
Thank you. Pink's working. It's just some pairs are so the topography is so weird. So you're just running into like situations just doesn't quite read off the spot the same or it doesn't get down the lane the same. Did it come out of the back, like up top? It dropped. Yeah, it dropped. Is that any of yours? Is it yours?
All right, welcome back to Bowl TV. This is game number 7. We are about 75% complete here on 31 and 32, along with 29 and 30. My name is Emil Williams Jr. if you are just joining us. We'll be here with you throughout. My man Brand Houghton in the building, along with Terry Bigham and Curtis Von Kruger. Want to thank and acknowledge our tournament staff. Tennille Milligan, USBC Hall of Famer and PWBA Director of Operations. Kathy Wadka and Kathy Kavicki, both here after some travel delays yesterday, and a lot of players went through some travel situations yesterday also. But everyone is here safe and sound. And we've got a great event and a champion to crown. Before we can get there, we've got to complete 8 games of round 1 qualifying before we can even think about crowning the champion. But round 1 could tell us a little bit of information. We know who right now is leading, and that is Missy Parkin at plus 185. Kayla Bandy moving into second. Bandy having a stellar day. Last few games have featured 256, 245, 226. Shanna Kulhowski third at plus 168. Jody Westner is fourth at plus 165. Sydney Brummett now into the top 5 at plus 160. Shayna Ung at the front 10 in game number 4. She is 6th at plus 150. Camilla Dahmers Nadal 7th at plus 135. Liz Johnson is 8th at plus 131. Bernice Lim is 9th at plus 122. Diana Zavyalova is 10th at plus 120. Cut number moving on up. Stephanie Johnson at plus 27. Jordan Richard has bowled herself back into the number, as well as Maria Jose Rodriguez. Just got word that we've got a front nine on lane 18. Not sure who that is, but we'll find out momentarily. Bernie Slim. Oh, gets a nice break on the 7. And then, of course, a 9-pin is left at that moment. 237, by the way, from Danielle McEwen. You'll see Danielle here one more time. This cross will move over to 31 and 32. McEwen, Samantha Howe. Mentioned Samantha, her sister Felicia Wong in the field, and their mom will be bowling on Sunday. All three of them will bowl the regional on Sunday. China Sorouse. Got some opportunities here to get into the two teams with good counts. She'll take it. 212. Jen Russo, 238. Clara Guerrero is going to be in the 250s. She had an opportunity at 280. She's on 33 and 34. $182 for Samantha Howe. Again, 212 for Sorouse. McEwen, 237. Again, this group will move over to 31 and 32. Sear. Well, you know, we've got a lot of great players, obviously, on tour. And we talk about physical games, but it'd be hard to argue who might have the best physical game. And you've got to throw Valerie Bercier into the conversation. Everything she does just looks effortless. I mean, that is just incredible. 224 for Valerie. And we are on to game number 8. That's a good question. And I'll be happy to get some of your responses or answers in the chat for those of you who are watching and listening still. I'm not going to make it too hard and say who has the best physical game on tour, but I'll be willing to give you 3 to 5 choices. Game number 8 on 29 and 30 will feature Camila Dahmer's Nadal, Sherry Tan, and Gigi Mason. Young Jazzy will finish things out here on this pair. All right, game 8 is on the way momentarily. Moving right along. We might have an extended lunch break today. I don't even know what to do with myself. We might even be able to go to San Francisco and come back. No, that's a joke. We don't have that much time, but we got some time. Back in a moment with you folks on Bowl TV. All right, back with you as we are set to conclude round number 1 of competition qualifying here. I do want to alert you, though, to make sure you stay tuned in throughout the final game here. We will have our first giveaway of the weekend. We will give away a PWBA Mini Visiball. And we'll be sure to have the winner, this week's champion, autograph it for you. So be on the lookout for the giveaway guru. We won't do any, radio stuff. When you hear the tune, when you hear the signal, be sure to call in. We won't do you like that. But stay tuned. Be on the lookout. Watch the chat. Giveaway guru will hop in when it is time. And a nice 5-game video update for you. It is available on our PWBA social channels. Right now, Facebook and Twitter, and then we've had some separate items on our Instagram as well. Be sure to follow the PWBA on social media at PWBA Tour on both, or all three, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Some of you have even taken the liking to following me on social media, and I'm okay with that. You can follow me at EWJR on Twitter. Someone grabbed that handle on Instagram. I'm still a little bit upset about it. They've had it for a long time. So I'll give them that. But I'm at basically full name, Emil Williams Jr. on IG. Then, of course, if you know someone who is still debating on becoming a subscriber to Bowl TV, the players certainly do have discounts available to help them. So be sure you're following your favorite PWBA players. Not only so you can learn more about them, but perhaps you can help someone else. McEwen. D-Mac showing the versatility. Mentioned earlier in game number 1 about hold, and if hold would remain, the scoring pace should be high. If it went away, it could be a little difficult. Well, the scoring pace certainly hasn't dropped. In fact, the scores have improved as you might expect in the later round block, but this round alone, or excuse me, this game, just right now, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people with the front 4 or more at the moment. Oh, that ball went through the pins the right way. Without a doubt for Tashina Sorouse. Sorouse made the show last year in, or not last year, excuse me, 2 seasons ago, 2017 in Lincoln. Brian, they are certainly two of excellent talents. Whenever they do make it out to compete, they are generally in the mix, and especially their international representation. Two collegiate players I mentioned before. Sorouse went to Maryland Eastern Shore. You see her right here on 31. Has made a television show. Again, 2 seasons ago in Lincoln, and there's Camilla Dahmers and Nadal over to your left. It's a good break, but telling herself, hey, just slow it down just a touch, I'm sure. But Camilla went to Weber International. I asked earlier about top physical games and what you guys might think about that. We did have one response. Shout out to Mark for taking a gander. He said Danielle, Gigi, and Daria. And there's no wrong answer in this question, because you watch Gigi right then and there. Once she continues to learn, figure it out every week. Each week obviously presents different challenges. The interesting thing is for us, from what I do, you hear in other sports you talk about like the youth movement happened on the PBA tour, for example, in other sports where the youth players, those who are coming in from college in their respective sport, kind of making their presence felt, and it is really cool to see the collegiate representation, and it's something we've talked about all the time. But now it's like, they're traveling together. They're having conversations during the block, chatting with one another about what they're seeing and various things like that. I mean, it's interesting to watch it all unfold. Tony indeed said that earlier. Yes, you did. There you see both players from Aruba chatting with each other and talking about what they're seeing on the lanes, Camilla and Tashina. And I haven't seen this view in a while either. It's rare for us. But I mentioned here at Double Decker, the tables are literally like right on top of the settee. So you can have a conversation. I'm sitting at a table and I can clearly see and chat with the players if I wanted to. So you see them clearly kind of up close and personal if they're in view. Sherry Tan who is no stranger to having some success on the PWBA tour. But Tan is third on the points list, and this is event number 5. I mentioned earlier that Singapore will be returning home. Very similar situation to 2016 in a sense, where they had a couple players who were near the tops on the points list, and then they had to return home after their few event stretch had concluded. Well, as the season went on, you start taking a look at the points list, and they weren't dropping by that many spots, so it was an opportunity. They said, hey, we'll come back and bowl the U.S. Women's Open, and they did. It was a little later in the season at that point. And ultimately, Sherry Tan Tan, of course, won a title that qualified her for the Tour Championship. New Wei Finn had a pretty nice points total and was high in the standings. And by her performance at that U.S. Women's Open, essentially qualified her for the Tour Championship, locked in a spot. Could see that same situation potentially play out, though. The difference here is there are a ton of competitions coming up, as I mentioned, for Singapore. Asian Games, or SEA Games, Asian Championships, and then the Women's World Championships in late August, which precedes the PWBA Players Championship. So perhaps maybe we see a situation where if Singapore, and for that matter, Malaysia, for example, are in a good position, perhaps maybe they stay in the United States to bowl the Players Championship. Well, we'll see how it all will unfold. But right now, Sherry Tan is third on the points list. Sin Lee Jane from Malaysia tied for ninth with Shannon Puhalski on the points list. Jazrael Tan is 17th. So, interesting event for Singapore. We'll see how things unfold. Shayna Ung is 20th. Bernice Lim 28th. Tony, that's a good, like your answers there. Mentioned Wei Fin from Singapore, who we just talked about. Shayna Ung. Maria Jose Rodriguez, Verity Crawley, 100%. Diana Zavyalova, Dasha Kovalova. Talking about great physical games on the PWBA Tour. There is no wrong answer. You could name just about any player and find something that stands out about them physically that you would either want to teach, replicate, or just simply flat out enjoy and watch, like I do, get a chance to every week. And then also see some of the changes maybe that they have made to help improve their game, you know, over the course of the few years I've seen them, for example, on tour. That's the thing about the best. They always find ways to improve. Never settling for the same thing over and over. Like Danielle McEwen, for example. McEwen with a strike in the ninth. Shayna Ung. She's going to be in the 250s to end this block. All right, there it is. Who's ready? The giveaway guru. Don't be alarmed there if you're watching. That's Gigi Mason in the left corner of your screen. G is rocking rough and stuff with her Afro puffs. Rock on with your bad self, Gigi. Shout out to Lady of Rage. Might be something before some people's times. The giveaway. Mini Visiball. We will have the winner autograph it. This week's champion. There is Mason. Will it be Gigi? Well, shots like that, it certainly could be. But she has been bitten by the split buff. Here in this final game of round one competition. Saraus. China has found the right ball in the block. Looks like we got giveaways all over the place. Missy Parkin, by the way, has the front 11, I think. Bang. Oh, goodness gracious, no. I didn't see it. My angle was poor. I watched the 1-3 go left. Of course, I couldn't see the corner pin. I'm going to guess it was a 10 pin. She shoots 299. And Missy is starting to catch some fire here. She's bowled well. No question, Tony. All you got to do is just click submit entry. Just click it. Congratulations to Scott Medor. Scott, we will get you a autographed mini visible signed again by this week's champion. Dalmers. 10 back for Camilla. Sorrells, one more, she will end the day in the 250s. Kewen makes a change on the fill, like some just a touch cleaner. Maybe lowered the ball speed just a touch and watched it go left to right with ease. And she shoots a clean 219. Barbara, you just hang on there, young lady. You just hang on. A giveaway is coming with your name on it, I can tell you that. At some point. It'll happen. Nice shot there from Howell, the former Wichita State Shocker. Now G.G. Mason finished things out over on 29 and 30. Mason leaves a 4-pin. Spare strike will put her at 171. Before we go, let's recap our scoring situation. After 7 games, Missy Parkin was your leader at plus 220. That is not going to change after her 299 game, so Parkin will be your round 1 leader. Shayna Ung was second, and I believe she got into the 250s, and so she still might be second. Kayla Bandy was third at plus 177. Liz Johnson was fourth at plus 142. Look at LJ creeping into the top 5. Jody Wessner has had a very solid block throughout. All right, continuing on there. Diana Zabialova was 6th at plus 135. Danielle McEwen was 7th at plus 132. And we had a 3-way tie for 8th at plus 128 with Daphne Tan, Valerie Bercier, and Sandra Gongora. So after a tough week at the Queens SG, Sandra Gongora back in business here in Sonoma. Right now the cut number was plus 28. That was Jen Higgins at plus 28 as well as Gigi Mason. So that number will change. We'll see how much. But Missy Parkin should be your round one leader. And that will do it for us here. We've got competition just outside of our viewing areas. And so that'll do it for us completely for our round one coverage. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Appreciate all of the kind words as always. We just try to do what we do to the best we can and really for your viewing pleasure. So as long as it works for you, it certainly works for us, and we're always looking to make it better. So for Brant Houghton, want to thank him, the giveaway guru and the maestro. Having him on site is a little different this week. Now I can just look right at Brant with a mean scowl. Before I had to mean scowl to nobody and type words in our messaging platform. Now I can just look at him and be mean about it. No, I'm just playing. Want to thank Brant. Appreciate Curtis Von Kruger. Want to thank Terry Bigham. We'll have a video recap of Missy Parkin's day if she is indeed the round one leader, which we believe she is. Now Brant's smiling at me. He finally heard what I said. It's fantastic. All right, folks. Want to thank Tennille Milligan, Kathy Waka, and Kathy Kavicki, certainly, for all they do as well. We'll be back with you at 5 p.m. Pacific time. That is 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central time. So if you got some time on a Friday night, like many of you generally do, come hang out with us. It'll be a little later for some of you, depending on where you are in the country. But hopefully you'll have a few minutes to spare and watch round two on Bowl TV. My name is Emil Williams Jr. This has been a presentation of round one competition, PWBA Sonoma County Open. You watched it live and you watched it only on Bowl TV. Check out Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for all of your round one highlights and coverage. We'll be back with you again tonight. Until then, you guys stay safe, drive home safely from work, and we'll see you tonight here on Bowl TV.